Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. What is going on? What is up, Dr. Tyra? How are you today?
I'm good. How about yourself, Dr. Candace? How are you today?
I am excellent. I feel great. I almost said I'm glad it's Friday, but my days all look alike, so I get them kind of confused. But yeah, they do. I couldn't wait till I got this age and this stage in my life to where my weekends and my weekdays look alike.
I know
And
that's
they
right.
do. And they do. So I'm feeling good today. I am. I'm energetic. I'm feeling good. I
hmm
don't cook today because, girl, I cook 4 days a week. Girl, I cook Monday through Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I be cooking full course meals. They can eat noodles today, grilled cheese. I
Now,
don't know what they doing.
did you say
Girl,
noodles or grilled cheese?
my 12-year-old probably eat cereal for dinner. I don't know.
Look, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at
He
you.
fine. It's some waffles in there. He fine.
Look, and as you mentioned in waffles, that kind of sound good for the day.
Right?
Like
But
I
you know
got
what I've been craving? You're
what?
right. I want pancakes, but I want blueberry lemon pancakes. I'm gonna
Ooh,
make them.
that sounds good. I don't want the blueberry and lemon. I think for me, I'm cool with a waffle.
Yeah.
I can
Aren't
eat
they
a
good?
waffle or a pancake right now. That
I
sounds
know.
good because I don't have
Right?
anything prepared for dinner today.
Yeah.
Whatever. But we do have like I had some Chinese last night, and so I have some of that left over. But I don't even want that. Like I don't have any taste buds. Like
Okay.
not saying I have COVID or anything, y'all. I just don't have no taste buds.
I
Like in
get it.
regards to wanting something to eat. I don't crave anything right now, and so because I'm not craving anything, I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Okay. Is it the heat?
You know what? I don't know if it's the heat or not. I think I'm gonna be keep it 100. I think what it is that I've eaten so much of everything throughout the whole 2 years, like an array of different meals. So I
Hmm.
don't have any my taste buds. I'm like, I can eat whatever. You
I
know
get
what
it.
I mean? Like the other day I had a taste. I didn't know I had a taste for it, but girl, I got addicted to those pizzas in the freezer cabinet at the grocery store, right?
Okay.
And so I had one in my freezer. So I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna eat this. I haven't had this in a long time. I can't even recall the last time I had pizza prior to the other day. I ate a couple pieces of that. That was it. And it's still in my refrigerator. Like nobody in here really wants any pizza. So it's just like sitting there. So I really didn't, like I said, I really didn't have a desire to, I don't have no taste buds.
Exactly.
And I every
Oh,
yeah, and it's like every now and then I get a taste bud for some cheesesteak or something like that.
yeah.
But even with that, I'm just like,
I know. And you say in the cheese steak capital.
uh-huh. I haven't
So
even I would eat that every day. I don't even want that right now.
yeah, I know. Yeah. And then, but how is the weather there?
The weather here is actually beautiful right now.
Oh
We
wow.
actually have beautiful weather. Today
Okay.
is starting to creep up, and like all of us is hoping and praying that this creep is not, trying to give us another heat wave or whatever, because we're at going to 90 degrees today.
Oh,
And so but all week, but right now it's like 88, and so it's been pretty good. It's
okay.
been pretty good,
That's
but it
beautiful.
feels good. It feels really good.
Okay, that's good because if we have 90 or 88, that is
hmm
perfect because we don't have humidity. But out
Oh,
here, yeah, we don't have it. But out
oh
here,
wow.
it's going to be like 104 today. So, yeah,
Oh my gosh. See,
one of those.
we get that nasty, nasty humidity.
Yeah. Makes you sticky and can't keep a hairstyle. I remember those
Hello.
days. I remember
What
my
you
Detroit days.
So you trying to tell me coming out there I can get my hair did and
Oh, yeah.
it won't mess up?
Won't mess up. I'm telling you, because we don't have the humidity out here. It's nice. It really is.
Mm.
And I like the hot. It's just that I'm very very active, so I'm like and then yeah, and going premenopausal, so
Mm-hmm.
having hot flashes. Do you have hot flashes, or you ain't got to that stage yet? I have hot flashes.
Girl, I've been at that stage for a minute.
Oh,
I
okay.
was
I just
I
got there.
Girl, I was perimenopausal. Girl, it was so crazy. I had decided to I actually, I'm not gonna say I decided, I actually developed a perimenopausal kit,
Okay. I
and I
love it.
didn't I didn't launch it or anything, didn't put it for sale, but what it contained was contents to help a woman who is starting the menopause process,
I think you need
and
to put that out
things
there.
and things that you can use to keep yourself grounded, and keep yourself mentally okay, because being having menopause is a whole other tree, so to
Yeah,
speak.
we got to do a show on that, and I think you should launch it. I think you should put it out
Yeah,
because it's so needed. It's
yeah.
it's so many women that's going through
Mhm.
premenopause or just menopause and just going through so much because the symptoms with the hot flashes and
Mhm.
our immune systems and headaches and different things.
And it's so funny because I made a connection with a company out in Europe, with some women out in Europe, right? And
Hmm.
they are looking for people to work on that platform with them. And so, so I'm considering, talking with them, seeing what's needed or whatever, because their thing is their messages, they just want to spread the word,
I think that's a great
throughout
idea.
all of the races and everything about this,
Absolutely.
because the thing is, I think a lot of people don't really understand the mental that menopause has. I mean, when it comes to menopause and we think about it's not only the hot flashes, right? And what people don't understand is hot flashes can happen through any area of our body,
Hmm.
right? Because when we think of hot flash, most things we think of is our head, right? It
Hmm.
don't all the time be your head. It could be down in your chest area. I had somebody that I know who had it in their feet.
I believe that.
And when she told me, and all we could do was laugh when she, would give me the story about what would happen when she was going through the process with the hot flash. She said, "Girl, one night we was at the nightclub and my feet broke out into a sweat. I had to take the shoes off." She
I
said, "The
can't.
dead of winter." She said, "Child, the people were staring at me like, what you doing? What you
Yeah,
doing?" And she's
body
like,
just
"Just
a
mind
furnace.
your business." She said, "Just mind your business." You
Body
know,
a furnace.
yeah,
Yeah,
the whole body on fire, but it is what it is. But that's something that we have to, talk about. Things that we
exactly.
need to address.
Yes. And we probably talk about, or probably kind of add that in next week, because next week on the 26th is body image.
Hmm.
So we probably add that in. That would be great, because so many women need to know. And it's myself, just we all go through something.
Hmm.
And some
Yeah.
have a smooth transition. Mine just
Yeah.
is a smooth transition, but I have hot
Mhm.
flashes. Girl, I'm sitting in front of the fan. I don't know if y'all can hear.
Child, please. I'm menopause. Look, them flashes is nothing to be played with. Let me tell you all about it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But today's show is a good show as well. And then it goes with menopause too, because it's anger management. We are talking about
Hello.
anger management today. Absolutely.
Hmm.
So I am excited for that. But Dr. T, what you got
Yes,
for the tea
ma'am.
with Tyler today?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell y'all. Let me get my intro. Y'all know we got our intros going on around these
Yeah.
parts. All right, y'all. So it was a number of things that happened this week that we saw that was going on out here on these streets. And so let's see. The first thing, because you and I discussed a number of stories, and I know some of them we said we was gonna put aside because of some of the things that was going on. But oh my goodness, why is my mind slipping me on stories today, Dr. Candace? What is going on? So, the one story I want to talk about is okay. There was a man. I seen this on DL Hughley's page. He had posted about it. Right, a Los Angeles man faced backlash after going to McDonald's while infected with monkeypox virus. So apparently, this unidentified man. Oh, they did identify him on TikTok, right? He shared a video of himself in his car at talk at the as the video opens, right, it says he was taking sips of his McDonald's drink and greeting his audience before trying to give an inspirational message about who you keep in your circle. Okay, so you want to talk about the people in his circle, right? So he says, what's good? My bad, I'm not in the house. I had to make a McDonald's run because I don't have any groceries and I ain't have no food. then tries to share some advice. I want to remind you to be careful who you fuck with, because not everybody who you fuck with is going to fuck with you. You might show up with the wrong person and end up with monkeypox. So go ahead.
Okay, I gotta ask Dr. T, is that the gentleman that was at with monkeypox saying this?
Yes, he took his tied behind over to the McDonald's in a car and went and got some
Wow.
McDonald's, this, that, and the other. So, when I seen this story, I said, "You got to be kidding me," right? He knew what he was sick with. It wasn't like this was a whole, "Oh my God, what do I have? What do I have?" He
Hmm.
knew what was wrong with himself, and he decided to take himself to go get something to eat, right? Now, we all know this is why they have the delivery services, right?
Hmm.
And the one thing I used to say, and well, I used to say because I thought it was like rude. I the very first time I ordered DoorDash, I think it was, right?
Hmm.
They came and they delivered my food, right? Because I pre-ordered it so I could schedule what time I wanted it to come at.
Hmm.
So I'm like, nobody rang my doorbell, nobody knocked on my front door. And I was like, what the hell? So I looked, and I was in a Zoom meeting at the time. I looked on my alarm app, and my food was sitting on the porch. I had to run out there for the squirrels got it. I said, wait a minute, squirrels is on one, right? I said, well, how rude is that? They don't send you a text message, they don't give you a phone call. Like, how is that okay? So in the meantime, as I'm thinking about that, I was just like, and I seen it happen numerous places, right? Numerous
Yeah.
things, even with the groceries. People get order.
Yes.
I don't order my groceries. I go to market myself. I don't need nobody to
Hmm.
get my stuff. But they put the stuff on the porch and they keep it moving. They don't even care if the address is right or wrong. They just gone, right?
Hmm.
I said when I seen this, I said, well, when you think about the all of the sickness that we've witnessed over the past 2.5 years, I can understand drop it and roll.
Yes.
Why couldn't he order his food, have it sent in,
Exactly.
and do his message from his house then? Why infect these people, right? Because in the meantime, we got money exchanging. We got
Yes.
a number of things happening. You know what I mean? You could have reached your hand out and touched that person.
Hmm. Exactly. And whether even if he's using a debit card or an ATM,
Mhm.
his head is still on it, and it's the transaction back and forth.
Exactly. Especially with change.
That's illegal. It should be.
It should be illegal. It should be, I mean, because at the end of the day,
That's legal activity.
yeah, it looks like a
Illegal.
criminal offense. You know
Yeah, it
what I mean?
is.
And how did he not think this wasn't going to go viral?
I know.
Folks
I
ain't
know.
folks ain't playing. People are concerned about their health, their well-being. They are not playing with people.
And
You
that's
know
out
what I mean?
here where I am. I wonder if he's going to a misdemeanor, get some type of charges or citation or something because that's not good.
No,
And
it's
I'm
not
pretty
good.
sure it's more than him that's doing this.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
He just had the audacity and was bold enough to go there and do it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not good. And we never know. We never know. Just like you said, you go to the store to get your own groceries, as do I, and we never know who had that basket before us, who touched the bread before us, or whatever. You know, how people touch stuff, look at it, and put it back on the shelf, and then here we come about to buy the same thing.
Hmm. And I try not to make it a habit to touch stuff. I try to make
Yeah,
it a habit to,
right.
like, you know what, I ain't touching that. Let me wait until
Yeah,
let me make sure and I'm not gonna put my hands on it. And I always
exactly,
try to be mindful of the next person. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Because people always pick up stuff and drop it on the floor, and just a whole that's a whole mission within itself.
Exactly, girl, you're so right. Just like produce. Before the pandemic happened, you know how you pick up an onion or you pick up an orange or apple, whatever, you look at it, or a bell pepper, and to look at it to see if you're going to get it. If it don't look
Right.
right, you put it back, you fumble through them. Ever since the pandemic for these last 2.5, 3 years, I don't. If I see it, that's the one I'm getting. I touched it.
Mhm. But
That's
a
the one
lot of
I'm
the
getting.
companies have been pre-wrapping the certain produce like that.
Girl, I in California, all this stuff in the open at stores I go to. And if I touch it, I buy it. I
Right.
do. You know, it's just I'm in produce. I didn't touch that bundle of bananas.
Mhm.
I'm mad at. I didn't touch that onion, whether it's a bruised apple or not. I got a
Mhm.
bad at. I
Yeah,
touched it.
but it's just like, but when you think about all of this and you see, it's just like, ooh,
Yes. And then
you
he got
know,
the nerve to give a speech about the people in his inner circle
girl, the whole nerve, a
when
whole
he's
nerve,
affecting circles.
right? And don't give a rat's ass.
Hmm.
And I think that's that part right there that
Hmm.
we all have a problem with.
Exactly. You think it's more people like that?
I'm gonna say I know it's more people like that,
Yeah.
because even when you think about COVID, like, and you look at where we're at now, right? And people, go out, they're moving around, they're doing things. People know knowingly know they have it,
Hmm.
and is out socializing, interacting, and doing things, and they know they have it,
Hmm.
and they don't
When?
say anything, and then all of a sudden, a whole everybody's affected,
Hmm.
and then it's just like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you sorry,
Hmm.
like, what
When
are you
did we
doing?
become so consumed with ourselves? When did we become so I don't when did we get to the point where we disregard others? That's horrible.
It's right, but it's like, and the sad part about it is, it's been happening for years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, and it's like now, it's like human regard we need to do this. We need to be paying more attention to this.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, and I think honestly, this kind of behavior has been going on for years.
Yeah.
It's just that nobody ever paid attention to it. And every time I think about illnesses and things and how they're spread and stuff like that, it takes me back to an episode. You're gonna start laughing at, because I always relate things to different TV shows, right? It was
Hmm.
the episode of Bernie Mac, the Bernie Mac show,
Okay.
where the birthday child was sick. And the birthday child, they sang happy birthday, it's time to blow out the candles, and a big green cloud came over from that sick child blowing out the candles, blew it all over the cake, right? And in the episode, they showed, everybody cutting the cake. You seen the green on the knife as they cutting, and on the places, right? And so when they passed the cake out to the people that was at the party, and you seen the green, like, it wasn't. It was like they did a how can I put it, a cartoon type
Yes.
a green, so it wasn't like you saw it.
Yes.
It was just the green was symbolizing the air from our infected bodies going over top of this particular cake.
Germs and bacteria.
Yes. And each person eating the cake, and you seeing the green, and you know how icing get
Oh my
on,
God.
and you know how icing get on your lips or whatever, and you seen it in the people.
Oh my
This cake is
God.
so good. It's so good. Nobody saw, because you don't see germs. It's
Yeah.
invisible. The green symbolized how everybody that ate that cake got
Hmm.
infected.
Yeah.
And so after baby girl's party and everybody was doing their thing, it was just like, okay, so only a handful of folks didn't get sick.
Hmm.
And it was like, well, how come y'all didn't get sick? Well, what did y'all eat? What did y'all do? What did you? And then it came out, well, I ain't eat the cake.
Hmm.
And so when
Wow.
that happened, it was just like, oh man,
And
and that was
that
the attitude.
happens.
Everybody, oh man, you know. And so it was a whole situation. But with that being said, right, we need people to be more mindful of
Yeah.
the things that they're doing in regards to when it comes to germs, okay, and doing the things that they need to do. We need y'all to be mindful out there, because at the end of the day, it affects everyone, not
Hmm.
just you. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And we need you to pay more attention to human life.
Hmm. That's right. That's right. I totally agree with you. I do. And that you're right about that episode. That
Mhm.
and we that happens all the time, especially in the when the when the pandemic first happened and people
Mm-hmm.
was having house parties and having parties, and now it was like 8 people in the house with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you can't see it. You're absolutely right. So
Yeah,
she
and
is right. We got to be more mindful.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes, I totally agree. We have to. We do. But that
yeah.
is, I love that. What else do you have for us, Dr. Tyler, for the
Uh,
tea return?
look, that's it for the day. Look, I don't want to look. I don't want to inundate
Okay.
everybody with a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's been a lot of stuff going on, but that one I think speaks volumes.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
because it actually causes anger, which is our topic for the day. So
Yeah.
so we're gonna get ready to go to a word from one of our sponsors, and then we're gonna move on into our topic.
Love it.
Yes. So make sure all of you stay tuned this evening at 6:30 or six
Yes.
o'clock Pacific Standard
6:30.
Time. 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Dr. Candace will be hosting all things relationships. So make
Hmm.
sure you join her this evening. I know I'll be there. So if I'm there, y'all all should be there. How about that?
There you go. I love it. And we're talking, I'm going to discuss tonight narcissistic love. Yes,
Oh, oh,
narcissist. Yeah, because
oh.
everybody always, he's a narcissist. And I'd be like, girl, no, he ain't. He just an a-hole. No, he ain't. I got to really tell you what a narcissist is. No, he ain't.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And then you got some women that have
Mhm.
narcissistic tendencies as well. So yeah. So we're going to
Hello,
discuss that
hello.
tonight. So it's going to be
Mhm.
amazing. But we're going to get into our show today and welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mental Health Minute. So
Mhm.
let's get into our show today. Today, we have the honor of having, of course, she's the co host as well, Dr. Tyra, but we are talking about anger management today. And she is the expert in this. Of course, I'm a therapist as well. However, that is not my expertise. So we are going to get into anger management. We're going to find out what it is, what it ain't, what it look like, and how we can contain it, control, and then thrive. I don't know. Dr. T is going to teach us, about anger management and what it looks like. So, Dr. Tyra, oh, that's
Girl.
okay. That's okay. See that we real people.
Look, we
We're
real.
real.
We look. I'm like, wait a minute. This ain't commercial time.
I know we real people. I love it, and we ain't edited nothing. We love it. Y'all know we're real on the mental health minute.
Yes, I'm ready,
Really
Doctor
is.
C. Go ahead.
Yes. So my first question, which I know the audience will love to know this as well, is how do you assess someone with anger management? Like, what is your starting point when someone comes in or they make a consultation with you? How do you assess them for anger management?
Okay, so how I assess a person that comes in with anger? First, we need to identify what anger is, right? And so, what anger is pretty much a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility, right? That's what the definition of anger is, right? And this is a definition that was created by Webster's, right? So, when a person comes into me for an assessment on anger, number one, we talk about what is actually happening, what is going on in their life that is causing them so much that's basically disturbing their inner peace, disturbing the inner peace and disturbing the outer peace, right? Because what happens is when you become so frustrated with situations, because sometimes we find that a person who is experiencing anger, it may be a buildup of different situations that's happened in their life. It could also be a situation of just not feeling happy about things that they are trying to achieve within themselves. Or it could be a situation where it's just they're unhappy about things that's going on in the world, period, and they don't know what to do, and so it's causing them frustration and anger. So when we assess, I give them a worksheet and I tell them to write out, okay, what bothers you? Tell me what bothers you. What is happening in your life? Some people don't even realize they have anger, right? And the first thing, I'm not an angry person. And I asked all my friends and family if I'm angry. They told me no. Well, hell, I'm going to tell you no too because I don't want you to cuss me out. And so when it
Yes.
comes to that, it's just like, we need you to know that, yeah, you do have some anger tendencies. So let's work on them. Let's see what we can do to try to help you with that. And so during the assessment, we find out exactly what the situation is because I want to make sure that it's anger, anger and rage, or if it's a mild case of a form of depression that you're having or anxiety that you're having, because both of those diagnoses can lead into anger or can mimic anger, because you necessarily don't have to be an angry person. It's just that these situations happen to cause you to become annoyed, frustrated, and hostile towards
I
things.
love that. I love that. Absolutely. You are so right when you said the depression and anxiety
Mhm.
can cause them to feel that way. You're absolutely right. Okay. So I like how you give them a worksheet. So you give them a worksheet and they complete it. And then you said something, and because, like I said, this is not my expertise, it's not my specialty, that when you give them the worksheet, and some people don't even know they're angry. So let me ask Dr. Tyra, do you think everyone has anger?
Okay, so number one, anger. Okay, so I always take it down to birth, right? No, they don't do this now, but I know they used to say back in the golden years, when the baby was born, the doctor would smack you on the butt to get you to cry when you're first born. Right? When you're crying, what's the first thing that happens? You become upset, sad, and that's a form of anger, right? Because you're upset over somebody putting their hands on you and hurting you, right? And when we become hurt, guess what we become? Angry, right? Now it's up to you whether you keep that emotion going, right? Now, some of that we see that's brought on from environmental status, societal status, family status, So it's like when you look at stuff like that, does everybody has some form of anger, despite what they think and what they believe, just like we all have some form of happiness. Even people that say, "Oh, I'm not happy, I can never be happy." Guess what? There is some happiness there. You do have some happiness. It's just
Mm,
being able to dig inside and being able to find that.
absolutely. I love that. My next question for you, and you're right, there is a form of happiness somewhere in there, somewhere.
Mhm.
Let me ask, is treating, or not even treating, but is anger management, once you're in treatment, is it a lifelong journey?
You know what? I will say, with counseling and therapy, that can help, but as long as you apply the tools and tips to keep yourself anger free, I don't see where you would need treatment, like you would have to keep like going, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you can recover from anger. It's just being able to apply the tools that you learn to keep yourself anger free, if
Got
that
it.
makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So they don't have to be in treatment. So someone that is going to anger management, they come to you for anger management.
Mhm.
You don't have to stay in treatment for 4 or 5 years, maybe even 2 years.
Yeah.
But the tips and tools and different things, it could lead up to a lifelong journey to continue on
Yes.
that path.
Yes, like for example, there are a lot of anger management support groups out here, and like this one support group that I know of in California that's only 8 weeks long, right? They do 8 weeks of support, so it's up to the individual to decide to seek anger management counseling, if that makes sense. you know um Even further, like I have clients that I see that have gone to anger management support groups, but they still have me in the pocket, as an anger management therapist, to help them with coping, with everything that they have going on, because we know that sometimes it can be a journey a journey that continues to need help, along the way, because of situations that occur. So anger management coaching is definitely something that you can get, because a lot of people just anger management coaching. I do have that within my practice, right? And so what I do is with that I incorporate that with life skills coaching. Okay, because the two, pretty much go hand in hand. And and it's similar to therapy, but it's a little bit different because we stay focused on the skills. We stay focused on the transformations and things that need to happen within your life as it sees
Absolutely.
fit right then.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is mostly anger management mandated, or do they
No.
just come to you willingly?
Okay, so no, I accept. So I do have clients that are court mandated, and I do have some that come willingly on their own. And so when it comes to people willingly wanting to come, you know sometimes it's because of others telling them, well, you angry. And it's like, wait a minute. You can't listen to what everybody tells you. Do you think you angry? What are
Mm-hmm.
you doing to feel that you need to come to anger management, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so people will start talking. Now, I've had people that have been court ordered to anger management, right? And after I would, meet with them, talk with them, they would they honestly didn't really fit the bill. And
Oh.
the anger that they had was situational.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about, when we look at, there are a number of types of anger out there, right? There are a number of
Mm-hmm.
types of anger. The seven types of anger that I stay focused on, right? My top seven that I keep. But my main types of anger that I see the most people have is displaced anger and situational anger. The two of those type of angers are the two that I see the most. Now, not saying that trait anger and passive aggressive anger, paranoid anger, sudden anger, not saying that they don't exist. Shame-based anger, planned anger, addictive anger, habitual anger, moral anger, all those do exist, right? However, when you look at displaced anger is pretty much when people take their anger out on the wrong person, right? So you see that a lot with business owners. You see that a lot with people who are working in high stress jobs, right? Where they go to work, the boss done upset you. Your coworkers ain't doing their job. They done upset you. You got all these things mountain high, right? Then you come home to your family. You got things going on there, and then all of a sudden you start yelling at the kids or yelling at your spouse because of all of the things that happened at the workplace, where everybody might have pulled their weight at home. You come home and they done pulled their weight, but because of everything that you witnessed in the workplace, you decide to take it out on your loved ones. That's what we not going to do. And so that's where, I definitely suggest, okay, yeah, we need to have a talk about what's going on and how we can handle this so it doesn't move any doesn't move forward, so that we be able to talk to our families about what's happening and being able to take that somewhere else, or being able to let your relatives and your loved ones know, look, I had a bad day. I need a few minutes before we talk, or whatever the case may be. Because what happens is when you have that displaced anger, it causes more harm than good to the family. Now, when we talk about situational anger, right? Situational anger is just what I said. Situation is based off on the situations that have happened. For example, you see a lot of situational anger in a lot of child custody cases, right? Where two parents might be fighting over the custody and well-being of their child. And when you look at your child and you look at the when this is your child, right? You look at the situation as a whole, and as parents, the number one thing we're here to do, what? Protect. We here to protect and serve our child. And so you'll to see two parents do things that are beyond, like, wait a minute, what the hell are you doing? Beyond me, because That's my baby. I want my baby. You get out of here. And so people will go and do things beyond measures, right? For the love of their child. And so that's a situation that will cause for someone to say, you know what, I'm not an angry person. I'm really a nice person. I don't understand why why the judge sentenced me to this. Because when they get in court, let me tell you, all hold the all holds is barred right there. Because when they get into court, what happens is they become people will put themselves in situations where they become contempt of court, right? And what happens is the judge will sentence them to a fine and anger management, or whatever the situation was, or time in jail or something like that because of that. Now we have seen situations where where people became aggressive with people on public transportation and just anything, anything that happens, right? But it's just knowing how to maneuver yourself in these types of instances that can occur in your life, so that you don't have a situation where you're court ordered to anger management, if that makes sense. Because the thing is, the last thing you want to do is be court ordered. You want to catch yourself before it catches you,
That
right?
was my next question. That's it. So you want to so being court ordered, is that a bad thing? Would we say?
Okay,
Which is
so I'm going to say being court ordered, okay, I'm gonna say a blessing and a curse. Okay,
okay.
I'm gonna say a blessing because the judge could sentence you behind bars.
Got it. Okay.
You know what I mean? So if you're told to go to anger management, and you're told to come to me, and I see you for 12 weeks, 18 weeks, a year, or whatever the case may be, right? If there's a choice between going to sit in somebody's office or sit on somebody's Zoom versus going to sit behind somebody's bar in a 3 by 5, you do
Hmm.
the math, you do the pit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So when you look at it like that, yeah, if I can go home every day, yeah, I'm coming, I'm there. Let me tell you, I had when I first started as an anger management therapist, Dr. Candace, I had 13,
Oh
no,
wow.
I had 18 men and 2 women. 18 men and 2 women sentenced to see me when I first started.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, and I only had 14 complete. The other they fell off. They didn't have to fall off. They chose to fall off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And did they? You know what? When they left, they were fine. You know what I mean? But it was just like it was a whole other vibe. You know what I mean? And it was so funny because I gave them a list of 101 coping skills, right? And I gave that to them the second week of anger management, right? And they were to find a coping skill that works for them. And the reason I did it like that was because all coping skills don't work for everybody.
Exactly.
As a therapist, the first thing that we always tell people is take a deep breath. Deep breath don't
Hmm.
work for everybody.
It don't work for everybody. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to sit here and say take a deep breath first and do that. No, find what works for you, and we
Hmm.
gonna work from there so that we can make you feel comfortable with doing what you can do. And I just remember this one gentleman. He was the funniest because he was like, "Oh my gosh, you know what my comfort was? I what?" He's like, "I found my coping skill, and I dare somebody to say something
There
about it."
you go. I
I
love
said,
that.
"What's your coping skill?" He said, "I went to the store and I bought a plant." And I said,
Mhm.
and when I tell you this guy, he was as hardcore as they come. So to see his soft side
I
with
know.
this plant, and it was so funny because he got the plant and he was just like, he said, Tyra. I said, what? He was like, yo, you want to hear something funny? I was like, what? He's like, so I had my little plant sitting in the window, and I was just in the window just doing it. He said, my first floor apartment, this, that, the other. He said, so there's a little lady that walks past my window all the time. She lived a couple doors down. I said, yeah. He said, next thing I know, he said, I went outside. She came. She said she came past my porch. She said, hey. And he was like, hey, how are you today? You need help with anything? Because he was very helpful, you know.
Mhm.
And she said, no, I got something for you. Come down to my house. And so he said, okay. So she said, because I can't carry it all by myself. So I need you to come help me. So he said, okay. He went down there, girl. She had a whole forest in her house.
Ooh,
She cut clippings of all of her plants and she bought all these little pots and she had them all in this box and she gave it to him.
I
I
love
don't know
that.
what you're doing, but I see with the one plant, but I figured you might want some more.
That is good.
And I said,
Coping skills.
yeah, and it was awesome just watching him get a green thumb from that, you know. But that's just one situation, you know. Because the thing is, finding a healthy coping skill that will help you, that won't cause any harm. And it was like so funny because he was like, "Yeah, I talked to my plants." He said, "Because I started reading up on talking to my plants." He was like, "If them plants knew half the stuff I was saying, it would be a problem. If the people on the street knew what I was saying to these plants, it would be a problem." You know, and I said, yeah, plants and animals, they can
They
be
know.
they're your friends. They know because they won't talk.
Absolutely. Now, was he mandated or he came
Yes.
willingly?
No, he didn't
Okay.
come willingly. Girl, no, he didn't come willingly at all. Mm-mm.
Okay.
He was mandated.
Okay. So let me ask, do you see more progression and more um, reward in mandated or people that come willingly? Who progress? Who actually
um,
do the work?
my thing is when it comes to that, right? Majority of the people that I see, the ones who come willingly, of course they do the bulk of the work, right?
Okay.
However, when it comes to those who are mandated to see me, those individuals they have to want it.
Okay.
Once they come in and they have to want the help.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So like I've had a couple who've come through and was like, can I continue on?
Okay.
Whether individual or group, and I'm like, oh yeah, we can work out something you can stay on, and and we do that, to help those clients, but
Okay.
for the most part, yeah, people who want to come, that's just like we're going to college, right? People who want to go to school, they get something out of it. Those who don't want to go to school, they ain't getting nothing out of it. You might as well
Exactly.
hold your check. you
Exactly.
know
I get that. My next question, and this one, because I really want to know myself. We are learning today. I really want to know
Mhm.
is the process. We talked about that, but is anger management genetics, hereditary? Can it be passed down? Anger.
So anger can be it can be it with that is a catch 22,
Okay.
right? And the reason I say that is because some people have grown up in houses where where family has been has a lot of anger, right? But for the most part, it does play a role, but it's up to the individual
Okay.
to basically get rid of the anger that they are experiencing, right? So I wouldn't say, for in my opinion, I wouldn't say that it's 100% hereditary.
Okay.
And so like in research it always says like what people have bad tempers, the number one question is always, is a temper inherited? And so what I found was, scientists estimate that 20 to 60% of temperament is determined by genetics,
Okay.
right? However, that does not have a clear pattern of inheritance, if
Got
that
it.
makes sense.
It
So
does.
there are not any specific genes that consider specific temperaments being a trait.
Okay.
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 So it's like, so when we think about genetics, temper, anger, it's that's why I say it's like a catch 22, because the thing is your parents, you could be in a beautiful home, very nice family, nobody show any signs of anger, just all, not saying everything is 100% honky dory, but at the end of the day, everything is just it's pleasant. But
Yes.
then you could have anger, And
Absolutely.
everybody like, what the hell you angry for? You had a nice life. What's going on? But
Yeah.
you never know what's going on in individual in the within the individual's mind.
Got it. Okay.
Because when you
Okay.
think about it, it's all about, the mind, but as science says, 20 to 60%, you know.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so I learned something today. And my last question is what methods, because I know you give and you have coping skills for them, or you ask them to choose and you have your 101, but
Mhm.
what method do you offer, do you give for coping
Mhm.
and for anger management?
Okay, so when it comes to the method, coping skill methods that I offer for clients, number one of the methods I do is I ask them to develop their own, help them develop their own coping skills, right? So I use, so my basically my preferred my preferred modality with anger management is I use cognitive behavioral therapy, right? In addition to reality therapy. And the reason I say reality therapy because when it comes to a lot of things with anger management, um, people need a reality check. Okay. Because the thing is like when things are happening, a lot of people don't want to take accountability or ownership over things that's going on. Cognitive behavioral therapy I use because we have to talk this out. We need to discuss the behaviors that happen to basically understand why we did the things that we did and how we are going to be able to overcome all of this so that we can move on and be more productive, right? And so with that, with developing coping skills, having the clients, develop their own coping skills, we need to know what your hobbies and your interests are so that we could try to get you in a place where you're doing something that will help you. Because if you develop the coping mechanism that you want to use to help you, you'll continue to do it, if that makes sense. Because sometimes we
Yes.
will give them and keep giving them different coping because they're not going to use that. But the things that I try to keep in mind, that I do tell my clients is, we have to start with our behaviors and our actions, right? Because when we look
Mhm.
at, and it's like I always, everybody be like, Tyra, why you always talk about Newton's third law of motion, right? I used to work at the Franklin Institute here in Philadelphia. So the Newton's third law of motion is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction,
Mhm.
right? Heck, guess what? That's science. That's something
Yes.
that's based in our life every single day. And that's something that you should always know, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Granted, we do it with laws of motion, right? When we
Mhm.
turning the wheels, driving a car, doing things like that. How come we can't apply those same skills to our regular life, especially when it comes to anger, right?
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
you do things, right? You do a behavior. If that behavior is not good, it's gonna come back on you
Exactly.
tenfold. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And it ain't got nothing to do with karma. It's just that's what happens.
Mhm.
So we
Absolutely.
just need to be aware of it and how to handle ourselves with it. And being able to know
Mhm.
the things that we need to do. So like the first thing I always tell people is number one, if you need to take a time out, take a time out, right? Number two, think before you speak.
Mhm.
You
I love
know,
that.
yes, if
Yeah.
you don't think before you speak, next thing you know, all hell done broke loose, right? We need you to be able to take time to calm yourself down, right? Because we want you to be able to express your concerns in an appropriate manner where everybody is not going to the next level of anger and that's causing everybody anxiety, right? We want you to be able to refrain from using you, and we want you to start using more I statements when talking about what's going on with yourself, right? We want you to be able to identify a solution because when somebody is angry, it's obvious there's a problem, right?
That's right.
So if there's a problem, let's get a solution, right?
Mhm.
Now, the next thing we need to also do is, if you need to take a few minutes and exercise, go exercise. Because exercise bring those levels down, right?
Yes.
That negative
Mhm.
adrenaline comes right on down and brings in more positive energy into your body. So we need to start working on that and getting that in order, right? Next, I'm gonna say don't hold a grudge.
I love
People
it.
hold grudges. My thing is, I know like a lot of people used to say, don't go to bed angry.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people didn't realize the power that statement has, right? If you ain't learned nothing in 2020 to 2021, hell, you should learn the power of that statement for real. Don't
Exactly.
don't hold a grudge, right? Don't go to bed angry. Being able to talk, being able to freely speak that out. You know what I mean? We're not promised tomorrow. So you should be able to say what you want to say without guilt, without judgment, without fear. Granted, being able to say all this. And one thing I always tell people is try to use a little humor when it
I
comes to
love it.
tension when you become angry, right? But other areas that we need to know, you need to be able to know your triggers.
Yes,
Okay.
triggers.
At the end of the day, people don't know their triggers. You need to know your triggers.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, and people always say, well, I don't know what triggers me. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to sit down and write out what you think triggers you. What
Hmm.
so this way when you are with someone, right? You could be able to tell them, okay, I know my triggers. This is what bothers me. Let's talk about this. Let's address the elephant in the room. These are my triggers. Being able to say it, mean what you say, and hope that the person that's around you will respect you and
That's
won't
right.
use your triggers against you. Know your warning signs.
Hmm. I
Know what
love
your warning signs are. Know what your warning signs are, right? Again, because people will do things to cause problems
it.
for
Hmm.
you. And
Absolutely.
care, but we need you to know what your warning signs, right? Because what a warning sign is a clue that your body gives you that you becoming angry.
Yes, I
Okay?
love
And people
that.
don't know that. And my thing is, it's like, I have I know for myself, I get upset with people make when they pretend like they know and don't know, and it like pisses me off. And so for me, it's just like I start getting an instant headache, and I just be like, and then I will just spit out what it is and just be like, okay, and then I'm like, okay, please shut up. I don't say it out loud, but I'm thinking it to myself. But I know my warning signs, and with knowing my warning signs,
I
to
love
walk
that.
off quickly, because other than that, it might go to a whole nother level that
Yes,
that
mine.
you ain't ready for.
You're
What's your
right. Mine's is the my central nervous system. I start to shake. I start to, my body feels it first. And I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna be able to do this. It's giving me anxiety. I
Mhm,
like that.
and
Oh
that's
my
what
God, I
happens.
learned so much.
And with your trigger, if you know your triggers and your warning signs, that will basically decrease the anxiety that you have when you become angry. Because the thing is, you already know to walk off.
I love it. Walk away.
And don't look
Walk.
don't look at the walk away um as a cop out. Don't look at it as, oh, she just don't want to face me, or don't want to face the issues. No, don't look at it at that. Look at it as a person just being mindful of their own behaviors, and rather than having a situation getting far more out of control than what it needs to be, let me just go and process. Because at the end of the day, it's basically processing the whole situation. We need you to
Got
process
it.
what's going on.
Got it. I love it. That is amazing. I love it. So I got all your tips. Is time out. Think before you speak. Refrain. Refrain. I like that. And
Mhm.
then you said, because you got to refrain and then start over. And then you say, identify,
Mhm.
identify. So you can find a solution. Like identify why you're angry. You said work out. Don't hold a grudge. Walk away and not walking away to cop out. It's just
Mhm.
like, no, I need to be mindful. What's going on with my behavior? I love it.
Yep,
Know your triggers, your warning signs.
and you know what? And with exercise, when you become angry, you become so energetic.
Right?
right? Because you're ready to fight or ready to do something to somebody,
Girl,
you
I
know.
think,
And when
huh,
you get that energetic, you need to go take that energy and put it to an exercise move.
there you go. Oh, we all lose weight. If we get mad, right, like Dr. Tyra said, if you angry, go and
Mm,
work out and you'll lose weight. Is that
yeah,
what you said? Because
that's
I
what I
like
said. Go ahead and lose the weight with your exercise. Yep.
that. I love
Good.
it. I love it. You said if you're mad, work out and you burn calories. I
Hmm.
like that.
Yep.
I love that. This was amazing. So, Dr. Tyler, because you're the expert on this, what is your last word for all of us for anger management? Or do you have something for us, a last word or affirmation, something that will lift us with our anger?
So the one thing I would say is easier to smile than it is to frown, right? And you can smile with your eyes with people wearing masks still, you can smile with your eyes. People know what
Mm-hmm.
you're smiling. They know if
Mm-hmm.
you frowning
Yeah.
and things like that. It takes a lot of facial muscles to put on a frown and less to take to actually smile. Do a little bit more smiling more. Keep in mind to remember to continue to use I statements. Remember to be able to take it easy. Remember, I'm gonna tell y'all, one thing I didn't cover in this was the word no. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Because no is the most troublesome word we have in anger, right? No will cause all kinds of fights, right? But
Mm-hmm.
remember that with using the word no, right? No, that's the next opportunity, right? That opportunity that was presented to you might not be for you, and that is okay, and it's okay to say no. So, with that, being able to feel comfortable and confident to use it, and know that it's okay to choose you, me before we, right?
That's
Because you got to choose you before you choose anything else, right? Some people will put you in a situation to put you in disbelief, making you think that it's all about them, right? But in life we have this thing called choices, and
mm-hmm.
make the choice to stay involved with the individuals that you are involved with. You make the choice to stay in situations that you are in, that you feel are causing you good vibes or good things.
That's
All of
right.
these are choices, right? So all I'm gonna tell you all is to make sure you choose correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Choose correctly. You know what I mean? Because there's a number of things that can cause us anger. And I know we'll probably do an anger part two or whatever, so we can go
Exactly.
over some of the other situations that happen in life that cause us anger. But what I will say for this with my closing is I want you all to remember to remain calm and know that you have someone that you can reach out to with in regards to myself, in regards to anger management, and Dr. Candace, because Dr. Candace will listen to a little bit and then she'll say, you know what? I'm
You got
not
to go
me,
to
not
Dr.
me,
Tyler.
not me.
She is so right. I don't do anger. I don't. I don't have it. I don't do it. I'm like, no, y'all gotta go see Dr. Tyra. I don't know what to tell you. Absolutely. Yes, I'll listen to a little bit, then I'm gonna have to send you over there. Absolutely. This was amazing. But I too, Dr. Tyra, if you don't mind, I would
Yeah,
love. Can we do part two?
yeah, we can do part two.
Because I know you have a lot out there that you can show and teach us and explain and enlighten us with that. We need that.
Yeah,
So everybody, this is anger management part one. She agreed that we got to do part two so she can bring what she have. I think that would be amazing.
yeah, we
Yeah.
sure can do it. Do it
Okay.
again. Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna do it again. Thank y'all. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Dee, and
Thank
everybody.
you,
Please
D.
watch the replay. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your family and friends.
Yes. Feel better, D. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much. All right. So let's play our couple notes from our sponsors. Okay, one more. All right. Well, we want to thank you all for tuning in to Mental Health Minute today. We want you all to have yourself a great and awesome, awesome, awesome weekend. And
Yeah.
if you need any one of us, you could definitely DM us. Thank you all who bought badges and stickers today. Not badges, we have stickers on YouTube. We thank each and every one of you for purchase stickers today for our show. And we look forward to seeing you all again. Have an awesome, awesome weekend. And talk to
Bye,
you all
everyone.
next week. Bye, everybody.